Grimshaw versus Ford Motor Company Ford Pinto case explained. Product liability and negligence. The Ford Pinto was one of the most controversial cars in automotive history, not because of its looks or performance, but because of what happened when it was rear-ended. Grimshaw versus Ford Motor Company exposed a shocking corporate decision. The company knew about a deadly design flaw and calculated it was cheaper to pay for lawsuits than fix it. This is the real story of the Ford Pinto case, a landmark in product liability and corporate ethics. In the 1970s, Ford rolled out the Pinto, a compact car aimed at competing with imports. But beneath its sleek marketing was a hidden danger, a fuel tank design that could turn a minor rear-end collision into a deadly fireball. When the truth came out, it was not just an accident case. It became a scandal about corporate greed versus human life. This is Grimshaw v. Ford Motor Company, one of the most infamous product liability cases in American history. Background story. In 1972, a Ford Pinto driven by 13-year-old Richard Grimshaw's family was rear-ended on a California freeway. The car burst into flames. The driver, Lily Gray, died from severe burns, and Richard suffered disfiguring injuries over much of his body. Investigations revealed that the Pinto's gas tank was mounted behind the rear axle with little protection. Even in low-speed crashes, the tank could rupture and ignite. The most shocking revelation: internal Ford memos showed the company knew about the defect before the car went to market and had calculated it would cost about $11 per car to fix. Ford decided it was cheaper to settle injury and death claims than to redesign the fuel system. Issue: could Ford be held liable for knowingly selling a product with a dangerous design defect? And could punitive damages be awarded for putting profits ahead of safety? Rule: under U.S. product liability law, a manufacturer can be held liable if the product has a design defect making it unreasonably dangerous. The defect exists when the product leaves the manufacturer's control. The defect is the proximate cause of injury or death. California law also allows punitive damages if a defendant acts with conscious disregard for the safety of others. Application: the plaintiffs argued that Ford's decision to ignore a cheap fix for the Pinto's fuel system was a deliberate and reckless choice. They presented Ford as internal cost-benefit analysis, known as the Pinto Memo, as evidence of corporate negligence at its worst. Ford argued the Pinto met federal safety standards at the time, and that rear-end collisions carry inherent risks in any car. The jury, however, was outraged by Ford's conduct. They awarded $2.5 million in compensatory damages to Grimshaw, $3.5 million in punitive damages. The verdict sent shockwaves through the auto industry. Conclusion: Grimshaw v. Ford Motor Company 1981 remains a defining example of how punitive damages can be used to punish and deter reckless corporate behavior. It also pushed automakers to prioritize safety in design decisions, not just compliance with minimum regulations. The Pinto case became more than a lawsuit. It became a morality tale about the cost of cutting corners. Ford's gamble to save a few dollars per car ended up costing its reputation, millions in damages, and a permanent place in legal and business ethics textbooks.